Welcome back into Studio C. This is BYU Basketball with Kevin Young, presented by Siegfried and Jensen, helping Utah families for over 30 years. Time for tonight's mini game show segment. And as much as Kevin Young loves basketball, his dad, Phil, loves cars. You said you were in the automotive industry for a time, right?
Correct.
We're going to say he's kind of an expert on this on this part of the world. So much so that we're confident he can decipher tonight's visual clues in a game we are calling Decide on the Ride with Phil Young. All right,
let's go. That looks like a blue F-150, by the way, but I'm not sure.
Well, we weren't actually going to identify, but we'll go 1 for 1 on that one. You've seen My Cousin Vinny, right? The movie My Cousin Vinny. Vinny's wife, of course, Mona Lisa, she was an expert on cars.
Yes,
she nailed things all the time. That's kind of the vibe I'm hoping we get from you here.
Okay.
No pressure.
All right. We're going to show you a picture of a vehicle. Your job is quite simple. Identify that car, the make, model, and year. You ready?
All right, sure.
Okay, first one. Here we go.
That's a 1965 Mustang, convertible, with a 289.
Well, with a 289, that's going to be the bonus point there.
Yep.
Why do we call this a 1964 and a half Ford Mustang?
Well, if I could look real close, if it were a 64 and a half where the windshield wipers fit on the cowl, there's going to be a little chrome piece there it fits over rather than black. So that's one thing.
That would be the differentiation,
Yep.
clearly. Okay, we're going to give him full points on that one, clearly.
I know that because I had a 64 and a half, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Car number 2 here. What would this thing be?
Oh, that looks like about a 1966 Lincoln Continental with suicide doors.
Okay, we're being told it's a 1967 Lincoln Continental, but if you're if you're within a year, you've nailed it, right? I mean,
There we go.
Very good. 1968. Now, would this have been like a motorcade vehicle back, like a presidential motorcade vehicle back at the time, do you think?
Yeah, maybe not that particular one, but President Kennedy was riding in a Lincoln Continental parade car when he was assassinated, unfortunately.
Those were the kinds of cars they used back in the day, though, for those kinds of deals. Next car, number 3.
Oh, I actually owned one of those. That's a 1960 Impala. Mine was white with that red interior. The steering wheel was about this big. You could put 10 of your best friends in the back seat and a hot tub in the trunk.
And just to confirm, he's exactly right. A 1960 Chevy Impala here. So we are just knocking him off here. What did you ride around in, Kevin, growing up?
Definitely not that. Yeah. I think a 1990 Chevy Suburban.
Yeah, 1988 actually.
Close.
Yeah.
Okay, close enough. This isn't Kevin's part of the contest. All right. All right. Next up here, what do we have? It's a red car. Greg's calling it.
Oh, that is about a 1963 Comet, probably a Caliente model. That was their hotter model.
Who makes the Comet?
Mercury.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, a 1963 Mercury Comet. So well done.
Wow.
Oh, man. Next up, we're coming into the modern age with this next one. This is going to be a what?
Oh, I actually owned one of those. That's a Mazda Miata, and mine was the same color, oddly enough. That's about a 2000 and, what was mine? That looks like about a 2010, 11, something like that.
2015, but close enough.
Okay.
2015 Mazda Miata. Why mess with a good thing, right? Why mess with a good thing? All right, we're going back into days of yore for this next one. I'm getting kind of a sock hop grease vibe here.
Yeah.
What do we have here?
It's a 1958 Ford Thunderbird.
1959 Ford Thunderbird, we are told. So you're within a year again. Just how many?
Like, probably belonged to Mary Kay, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Cosmetics magnate. There we go. So how many cars do you have in your garage right now at home?
Only 2, unfortunately.
He sold a couple.
He sold a couple over the day. Next up, this is vintage.
Oh, that was my mom's favorite car. That was probably about a 1966 Mercedes SL.
It is just a little. It's just a little older, but a 1963 Mercedes-Benz 230 SL.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was special about that car, if anything?
Well, it was a two-seater and kind of exclusive. You know, it was, and it's a beautiful automobile. And today those are going for hundreds of thousands of dollars. I mean, the value on them has just gone through the roof.
Okay, Kevin, do you, like, when you bought a car growing up, when you buy cars, would you always like check with Dad, like, is this something, is this a good value, good buy?
Absolutely. Yeah. Without fail, I would say.
Yeah, and you know what's funny is that I was never into sports growing up. I was always into cars, and my boys were never into cars. They just wanted to have a car to drive. But as they got a little bit older, you know, their tastes changed a little bit, as did their pocketbooks, and they're able to
began to appreciate.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, next up. This is again old school.
Oh, you're not going to believe it. My dad actually bought one of those. That is a 1956 Cadillac Coupe de Ville. Ours was pink with a black top. And real quick, interesting story. My grandfather, who lived in Salt Lake City, and we lived in Napa, California, had throat cancer surgery. My dad and I drove from Napa all the way to Salt Lake, straight through in that old Cadillac. This is before Interstate 80 was finished, you know, through the Sierra Nevada and stuff. Great memories of that car.
What color was the one you were in?
Oh, pink with a black top.
It's the same one, except that white top there, right?
Yep.
I love it. Okay, next up, and he's just rolling through these here. Oh, this is a funky vehicle here.
Oh, I know that one, because this guy owns one. That's a Nissan Patrol.
There we go.
And that one is probably about a 1968 or 69.
65.
65.
Close
It's got
enough.
the side marker lights on it, so, but looks like that was maybe an add-on. But yeah, his is called Rusty.
Yep.
You got to name your vehicle. Yeah.
The kids named it. The kids named it.
Yeah.
Okay, our next vehicle. This is, yeah, well.
Okay, you're not going to believe it. I actually had one of those too.
Oddly enough, I do believe it. So, yeah.
That is about a 1973 Volkswagen. I think that looks like a Super Beetle. 74, okay.
Yeah, right there, right in the neighborhood. Well done. He's just killing this, people. We have 2 more cars for you. You ready for 2 more?
All right, let's do it.
Both of the same era-ish. This next one.
It's a 1969 Chevy Nova, and interestingly enough,
He had one of
my
those.
wife had one of those
Okay.
when we got married. Yeah, so yeah, one of my favorite cars, by the way.
Very good. A 1970 Chevy.
yeah.
No, you said 69, 70 is the
Yeah.
same deal.
Yep.
And then our final vehicle for you to look at here.
Oh yeah, that's a 68 Ford Bronco. Obviously had some alterations done to it, but one of Coach's favorite vehicles, as a matter of fact.
Just a little newer, but yeah,
Okay,
it's a high-riding Ford Bronco.
Yeah.
Wow. There's not
Guys,
a thing.
let's go.
Wow. Kevin said it would be hard to stump you.
Well, I will tell you, I went to the Barrett-Jackson auto auction in Phoenix last week, so I kind of brushed up, had some fresh knowledge. So.
Oh, that's awesome. Well done. And so, Kevin, you said you're driving something. So you're driving a Nissan right now. You said, right?
So that one's in the garage. Okay. I have a 65 Nissan Patrol. It's like a cousin of a Land Cruiser. My everyday car is a brand new Land Cruiser that I bought when we were still in Phoenix when I was down there, and it's a great car.
You drive it up here?
It was actually, I had put an order in it because they just re-released the Land Cruisers, and so he helped me with the dealer there in Gilbert, and we bought it down there and then put it on a truck, and they brought it up here.
When Kevin was with the Sixers in Philadelphia, I had worked for American Suzuki Automotive, and when he was here in Utah, I got him a Suzuki Grand Vitara. It was an off-lease car. And so by the time he was in Philly, the thing was like 10 or 11 years old, maybe even 12 years old. And they showed a video online of all the players driving into the player parking lot, you know, with their Bugattis and their Rolls Royces and all this stuff. And I told Kevin, I said, I want to see the video when Coach Young comes driving in a 12-year-old Suzuki. And he said, Dad, there's nothing wrong with that car. It runs just fine. And you sold it for about what you paid for it, too, I think. Yeah.
Good economics. We'll take a break. We come back. We'll have audience Q&A for the coach and his dad when BYU basketball. Kevin Young continues. Stay with us.